welcome back to a new video. This past week I've been learning about REST APIs and how they can be used for different situations. If you didn't know, a REST API can use HTTP requests to return data such as weather, time, or even the top post in a subreddit. I started by creating a simple program in Python that uses the opennotify API to return data about the ISS, and then I decided to challenge myself. I'd recently seen a video by Polymars where he made a real-time weather application in Unity, and I thought I would just entirely rip off that idea, but do it in under 24 hours, so shout out to him, props to him, link in the description to his video. I started off by creating an empty object to contain a script that determines the logic for getting the data from the openweathermap API, which is the API I'm using for this. And you can see the code for getting the data involved. I had to use simple JSON library for C# as the data recovered from the API is formatted into JSON, and C# cannot read that, so I needed a way to decode this information. The API request is stored in an IEnumerator coroutine, and this is code for it after about 10 minutes of working on it and figuring out how the Unity web request worked. After getting the whole JSON to be printed into the console, I had to figure out how to get the small amount of information I wanted, and this proved more of a challenge than I anticipated, as all my first attempts involved me getting null returned. And so my first challenge faced me. What was the data actually containing? After around 10 minutes of just random attempts, I noticed something. The data that I wanted was not just part of a dictionary, but was an array within a dictionary. And so with this, I put in a 0 to signify where the data was in the array, and then saw that the square bracket surrounding had disappeared. And so now I just put the key of the value that I wanted, which was main in, after the 0, and it worked. After that, all I did was append this into a text object, and the description of the weather was showing up. So the next day, the first thing I did was make the scenes for the different types of the weather, such as rain, having that as a particle system, day and night scenes, having clouds that move, and I implemented a system that I saw Polymars use, which was grab the IP of the user using another API called IPFI, and then use a third API sending that IP address and finding out the country and the city the IP is in. Once this last coroutine finishes, then the city and country are sent through into the app manager script, and the get weather coroutine is called. This means anyone can use the app, not just someone in the set location I chose, which was of course London. I tested this out, and sure enough, it was raining, like it always is in London. I added in some text to show the temperature as well as a small UI thing, and some small details such as a house with a smoking chimney and some trees, and then I added in a clock at the top that showed the current time in your time zone. So this is all the code for the logic of figuring out what the weather is and what method is called and it could probably be much cleaner. But talking about cleanliness, you can just adore how clean this is. I mean, look at this code, it is just phenomenal. Of course, I'm joking, this code is disgusting, and yeah, let's just hide that from the world, shall we? The last thing I added was if you press the H key, you can hide all UI elements, and also I made a countdown, so every 5 minutes a new request is sent to the API to see if the weather has changed, and that was it. This was quite a fun project to work on, I found, and I'm quite proud of how it came out, seeing as I spent just less than a day working on it with about 7 hours of coding in. And yeah, again, it wasn't my idea, I completely ripped it off from Polymars, so go check them out. And yeah, thank you for watching the video, follow the Twitch, subscribe to the channel, and see you.